Alright guys, so in this live stream I'm gonna react to a video. I would say like latest podcast with Pearl Daily, Andrew Tate. And so the question was asked, the number one problem with men and women today. So without further ado, let's begin reacting to this video that was uploaded yesterday. Alright, can you guys see it?
She doesn't give a shit. Okay, so my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I can say something.
Come on, everybody's going to educate me.
Interesting question. So I have watched it already, so I'm just gonna give you my reaction to it.
The number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
That's a great point, but I don't think that's the biggest problem. The problem is that when you tell a lady that, oh, this is the number one problem, so can I mention that? Okay, you tell the truth, but they can't handle the truth. So that's the biggest, one of the biggest problem, but not the biggest. Okay.
That's a good paradigm to start from, because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest, and then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree.
That's a good one.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's the
I
biggest
also
problem,
agree
but
with
it's
that.
certainly a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting.
That's a simple man. That's an ordinary man for women. Oh my god. Like 6 feet tall. How many people are 6 feet tall in North America? It's like 15%. All right. And then if you are counting like $100,000, that number will be much lower than that. And also you will have to count one more thing in that, which is the number will like if you were considering like 500K a year, then that means also it is really rare to find that kind of man in the market. So like if you are demanding that caliber of man, then definitely you will have to share that man with somebody. Like he is not gonna be loyal to you. So that's why my advice to all the women out there, like if you are in the market to find a husband or something like that, go for an average guy. An average guy is 5'8", somewhere around that. So just go for that guy and marry them. Like maybe they wouldn't have much saying in the marriage, or maybe they will be loyal to you, but it's not guaranteed at all. But the thing is that when you want somebody who is making $100,000 then a year, that man has a leverage over you. Like you might be beautiful, but an average girl can be replaced easily. Like if most women are like around 5 and they're beautiful. Okay, 5, that means you are beautiful and it's okay, but they can easily replace you. Like there will be someone who is like men are really into somebody who is making who is a brokey maybe, but they're into something like, okay, I don't need a woman who is 5. Instead I'll look for a woman who is a 4, who will not give me headaches. So man looks different things in women.
Interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And it's funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have.
I don't want that much. What the hell? Like, yeah, I've talked to a lot of women and they're like, oh yeah, I don't want much. I just want a 6 feet tall guy, a millionaire, white or something like that, or maybe black. So I think yeah, that's a problem. Like if you're looking for that kind of guy, that means you will have to share him, but you also want monogamy, and that's kind of a thing that men won't give you.
And it's becoming harder and harder, and you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
Yeah, I mean it's getting like upper end. Like there is no middle end for men, and it's getting that number, like that difference is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, like
What about that?
Well,
Shall I say the
I
point?
would say,
I'll take-
well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well, I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are
Interesting
accountable for
point.
themselves. I agree with you there.
Why just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. Society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, etc., is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change your fuck.
okay, I did a research regarding car accident recently. So a guy let her girl drive the car, but the girl like had a minor accident with that car, so like she didn't take any responsibility for that, and the guy had to take responsibility because he owns the car. Also, there is no proof to use in order to like take any kind of thing on top of that, like, oh, she's my girl, it's okay, like it's a minor accident. So yeah, like there are a lot of minor accident that are like women are initiated, and those things are initiated by women, and also like to some extent I can say that. But at the same time, I want to mention that men are taking responsibility for those kind of accidents. So man has higher accidents rate probably due to that reason. So yeah, like I cannot say exactly how much it is contributing to that crash percentage or accident percentage as for male, but to some extent it's real. Like women are not hold accountable for some kind of action like that. And yeah, like we do not punish them for that, and I'm not suggesting, oh, we have to punish them, but the thing is that whenever we try to tell them that, hey, this is what is happening, you better step up the game and you better be much more careful about it. Nope, I'm not responsible for anything, you do what you want to do. But you will be like, man, you will be responsible for what you are doing. But women, no accountability. We are not responsible for our action. We are learning. We're just little kids.
Fucking thing.
Don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
They
saying-
can look sexy in size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me cancelled?
See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with what you just said, because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men.
But who told you to? Like, who told you to change? Nobody told you to change. Like, when you were younger, when you were 19 or 20 years old, nobody told you that, oh, you have to change. All you are doing is to get more attention, and that's on you, girl. Like, why you are blaming man for that? Like, what the hell? Still, there is no self accountability that I can see over here. What the fuck?
Don't want to change. They're not accountable for themselves. They think that because they're a man, you're gonna be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck.
Yeah, she's not gonna do that, and I agree with you. But what kind of, like, I don't understand what kind of thing she's trying to say here, like, oh, women are not going to choose you. So yeah, that's fine with me. If a man is a loser and you do not choose that man, that's fine with me. Like, what's the problem? Yeah, there will be some guys on the internet who will be complaining about, oh, I'm not getting any girls, they're not into me. Like, what the fuck you have done? What is your achievement?
Yeah, but then she won't.
I mean, I would ask those guys about that, and if they respond me well, like, hey, this is my achievement, girls are still not liking me, then I can say, okay, it's the girl's problem. But no, I'm not gonna complain about that, because the man has to step up their game and has to make themselves successful in order to be in a relationship with somebody who is attractive. And that's what is my suggestion for men, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining about women wanting somebody who is making $100,000 a year and also 6 feet tall. They're very rare, probably 5% of the, less than 5% of the North American population who are in that category, right? So yeah, like, they will have the leverage, they will be trying to like sleeping with bunch of girls, and you cannot complain about that. And also there is no like law that will prevent them from having sex with bunch of women, so you cannot even tell them, hey, this is what you're gonna do. I expect you to do certain things. I expect you to make $100,000 a year, and I expect you to be 6 feet tall. Like, what the hell? Like, if you are expecting so many things, I expect you to be monogamous. Like, what kind of thing is that? It doesn't make sense. Like, what I'm saying here is that you have to understand that this guy is very rare, so you cannot just put certain things like, oh yeah, I want this, I want that, I want those things. Like, you cannot tell them, you cannot dictate a relationship with that kind of guy.
And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing.
Yeah, like, I'll give you an example. There is these guys, like, I used to, back in the day, I used to work at a coffee shop, and I used to pay like a minimum wage. And I will tell you one more thing, that is, the guy got through divorce, and women initiated the divorce because he wasn't making enough money. He was working 2 jobs, and he was making roughly around like $40,000 a year, and her girl didn't like it, and so the girl initiated the divorce, went away, and now getting child support and stuff like that. The man is really fucked right now, so he cannot even get into the dating game because he hasn't made himself successful enough to have that kind of attention from women. And I'm not complaining about that, it's a fact, and he should take responsibility for that. And the fact that women has no responsibility, that is mind-boggling. Like, what the hell? Like, you have to take some responsibility in a relationship. No, I'm expecting, like, I have to accept a woman who is going to the club. Oh yeah, like, if I do not accept you, oh, you're insecure. Like, what the hell?
Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, they will tell you that I want to go to the club, I want to get drunk, and I may accidentally have sex with some random dude, but it's not my fault. I'm accidentally doing it, and you should accept it. If you do not accept it, you're insecure. Like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not complaining about that. Like, I do not like to be in a relationship with somebody who is doing that kind of thing. Like, what the hell? Please tell me.
Yes, they are. The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing
Like,
that.
what? Men do not care about that when it comes to relationship, like actual relationship. Man cares about that only when they will, like, oh, I want to have sex with somebody. So yeah, like, she has big butts, she has big boobs, she has big lips, so I'm gonna like F her and dump her later on. So that's what the man wants for sex, but they do not want that kind of thing in a relationship. Like, you can be an average girl, but you just have to be a little more feminine. Like you have to do certain things that will make the man happy, like that will make him feel like a leader in a relationship. When you don't make your guy feel like a leader in a relationship, that relationship is most likely be a failure for you. So
For themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup on hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and
yeah, because the thing is still they will not admit this, but they want attention. Okay, they want attention. If you are putting makeup, you're doing bunch of things for an average guy, no, you're not doing that for an average guy. You are doing it so that you can attract, like you are with a average guy. Let's say you are with an average guy, and that average guy is happy to have you because you are attractive. Like you might be higher, like in terms of like looking, like in terms of your looks, you look like the guy got more than he deserves, okay, in terms of your looks. So like the guy will feel like, oh yeah, I've got the better option. But from a woman's perspective, it's more like, oh, I put on makeup so that I can attract some high value man. Right now I'm just putting up an act so that I'm with this guy, but when I have a chance to be with a guy who is that caliber, like high caliber, I'm gonna move on, I'm gonna be with that guy. But that guy is not going to be loyal to you. That's what it's all about. But women are oftentimes complaining about, oh, monogamy, no, there is no monogamy, high value men are cheating all the time. Like, you cannot complain about that. You are not living in a Muslim society or like Islamic society where you have death penalty for like cheating. So you cannot complain about that. Here the law promotes sex outside marriage. So what are you gonna do? Like in like bunch of you have probably had sex outside marriage in the North America. So what you are complaining about it? Like why you are complaining about it? Like it doesn't make sense.
Because he's fat. The man will most, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make that, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves.
Oh my God, she's a point.
They're going to turn around, don't have an operation. They can't sit on a plane because her arse has been injected or been interfered with. She's got nothing in her stomach. You think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house. She's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. And then when they wake up in the morning, they
Interesting.
go, who the hell is she?
The scars,
By the time you take
catfish.
everything off, women need to change their attitude before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women are out there and they
Change
wanna
your attitude, change your act, but they are gonna change like what they're doing in modern relationship, like in current dating marketplace. You will see that women are changing their body so that they can get more attention. They are not doing it for one guy, they are doing it so that they can attract somebody who is high value man, who is a high value man, who is making bunch of money, like a huge amount of money, and who is like who can attract a lot of women. So yeah, like they're doing this thing for that kind of man, but still they're in a relationship with average guy, but they're just putting up an act. But this act will make you unhappy. I'm telling you that. Be honest with yourself. If you look average, be yourself and like find the average guy. Don't look for somebody who is on the top, like who is in the higher echelon. Like it's not gonna help you. It's not, like you will be miserable. Like, oh yeah, I want him to be monogamous. No, he's not gonna be monogamous. And even if he is monogamous, he will like turn into that polygyny stuff.
change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is how
That's what you need to do.
That's how they girl.
She's like, girl.
That's how they is.
Uh-huh.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys came from the airport. When we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as
No,
well.
but what I'm saying is that Pearl, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand as a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
What?
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
It was okay. I did a street interview and I asked.
That's a problem. she's thinking like she's conflating these two things. One is for sexual stuff and one is for relationship stuff. So from a relationship point of view, you will have men who will choose the girl who is cooking over somebody who is hot and looks amazing, like a 10 out of 10. No, like he's not gonna consider that because he is into somebody for a relationship who is capable of maintaining the supporting the relationship in a way which will allow both of them to be in a relationship for a long period of time. So that's the thing.
So guys, would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook? And most guys
They want
think-
this.
So good head means like you are basically like, I think you understand, right? What is a good head? Or you can search it up because if I say it, like my video might get demonetized. So yeah, I'm not
But
going
I
to
think
tell.
that's
For the
more-
quick
but I think-
satisfaction.
But it's more like you are just doing like sexually stuff. Okay.
I think that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm
versus
trying to say is that
long-term.
if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down, they want a man, right? And you've got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at, when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck cake just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man, and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't say
Wait,
attraction's not
I-
important now. You can't say attraction is not important now.
It is important.
Well, you should
Initially.
initially, exactly. You, a man is not going to find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. It's got to share.
A man's going to
Especially
find you
that's got money.
attractive and he's
Okay,
going to...
let's ask Andrew.
Andy,
I'm not
would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That's what I said.
Well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But
There you go. She thought that she will be the Andrew Tate will be with the Everest. Like the option doesn't even exist for Andrew Tate. Like Andrew is very handsome. I mean, I heard from a lot of people, like in person, you'll see him and you'll see like this guy is really attractive for from a women perspective. So he is capable of attracting a lot of women, and he is in a relationship probably with a lot of women who are 10 out of 10. So like you can like, and also they're cooking, so like you have like submissive women. So
to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to
I
drive
agree.
faster because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better jobs, so I want more money, so I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's what men
complaining.
want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, let's be serious about this.
Have
This
you
is-
had the gut
no,
3000?
no, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time. It's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say
I don't want to
something?
hear that shit. What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius.
yeah, like a man who is successful, he's interested in status. Like he is doing it for his status, and average Joe is not doing it for his status. Oh, I want to be happy. Like they're bought into this dream of Disney fairy tale. Like, oh yeah, you can be an average Joe and you can attract somebody who is really hot and beautiful, and she will cook and clean, and she will do work in the corporation. Some random corporation will be a corporate slave or something like that. It's okay, it's completely acceptable. Like she can do whatever, she can be a supermodel, she can go out to the club. Like it's impossible. Like it's impossible for a woman to take care of a baby and then doing an 8 hour shift per day and also going to the nightclub and giving her husband some time. It's like this bullshit that Disney is selling to the not average people. It's bullshit. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like how can you do this many stuff in a day? Like does it make sense? Like tell me, if you're spending, like let's say you were spending 2 hours, okay, like 2 hours of your time with your baby, okay, then let's say you were cooking for 2 hours, okay, that's let's say that's 4 hours total, and then let's say you were taking shower, you were getting ready and stuff like that, that will take 1 hour, that's 5 hours. And then if you do 8 hours of work, that means you have spent total 13 hours. And then if you sleep 8 hours, that will be total 21 hours. And then if you were for your work, you will be traveling around, it will take about like an hour, so that's 22 hours. And if you spend 2 hours with your husband, where the hell you gonna get some time to go to the club? Tell me. Oh, you're gonna like cut your sleep? And if you cut your sleep, you will have low quality time with your child. And I'm saying that's the bare minimum. Like if you are not spending like more than 2 hours a day with your child, you are the worst kind of parents I can ever imagine of, right? So yeah, like you will have to spend a lot of time with them. My parents spend a lot of time with us, and that's why I'm here. I'm talking in front of you guys. And yeah, like I really admire them. Like maybe they're not aware of certain things that are happening in the society, but still I respect them because my mom chose to spend her time with us to make us who we are today.
Spoken like a true one. That is true.
My man's a Sagittarius.
Listen, well,
My man's a Sagittarius.
so basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men.
Yeah, like a lot of feminists, unfortunately, I mean, I do not hate feminism or anything like that, but a lot of feminists will complain about, oh, this is a man versus women competition, there is a gender pay gap, there is this problem, there is that problem. But in reality, like if you become successful and then if you are able to get married to somebody, and maybe like when you were 50, in your 50s or in your 60s, you will realize, like you will not realize because you haven't matured enough to understand like what men go through. It's a man versus man game. It was never a problem between man and women, it was a problem between man and man. Okay, one man is trying to fight for a finite amount of resources, so he's gonna take certain amount, maybe he's taking like 80% of the resources, and some other random dude are getting like 20% of the resources, and women are interested in that guy who is making like 80% of like who has 80% of the resources. So yeah, like that kind of thing I'm talking about. Like you do not understand what's the problem here. Like you are sold a lie by feminism that, oh yeah, men are the problem. No, men are not the problem. Who is supporting feminism? Like if you are told to fight for your, like men are ready to fight for their ideology, but how many women are capable of fighting for their ideology? Tell me. Like you all of you are doing here is that you are complaining about women's right in Afghanistan, but you are not going there. Like not even a single feminist are going there and fighting a war. You want men to go there and you want men to fight the war. Like what the hell? If you really care about your rights, then go there and fight for the women's right. I'm not like trying to be misogynistic here. Like I'm telling you, like do it. If a man is getting hurt, maybe I'll stand up. Like if I see that, maybe I'll say, hey, this is a violation of his rights. I'll speak the truth.
this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's always been that way.
Yeah, but then think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here...
Listen, nobody's victim of a system. It's your mindset that can destroy yourself. It's not about okay, somebody is complaining about your system. Like you can learn a lot of things. Like a system is in place, but how a lot of new billionaires are coming out from nowhere, like how they're doing it, because they take the risk and they understand the system, and that's how they are successful. It's not like, oh yeah, like this victim mentality victim mentality will never lead you to be someone who is successful.
It's really not to try and make it about men and women. It's to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women.
They're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this is 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war. He came back victorious, he came back with honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here. And I buy what the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about that. Why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. They're losers. So it's hard.
Balance. I love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people always go after the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody rushing? I've got a man, we don't go on social media. If you work for a I don't know nothing about social media. 9 to 5, I've got to run property, 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not old-fashioned, it works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
what
it
I'm trying
does.
to say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But
and
the
then the
difference
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
As he said, thank you.
I'll have this one after this point. Yeah. It is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that the same way that society evolved, they make men feel less purpose. They have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of, you know.
Rubbish. That ain't what I'm saying. You get a 9 to 5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9 to 5 person?
Interesting point.
Right? You can function underneath that because I'm always saying the women say, oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money. Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9 to 5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew Tate.
There's always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe you cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen?
That's the thing. Like, you have to understand, like, what you were talking about here.
If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you...
Like, you have to, like, lower your expectation to some extent to fit the, like, category. Like, you want all this maxed out things from a man and you expect them monogamy, right? What the hell? Like you cannot expect that. It's not Saudi Arabia, where you can have what do you say, like you have certain rules and laws are in place where man or women won't cheat on you. So that's the thing.
You truly want your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you, take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that. Men like me don't have to be. And you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting here pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake females make.
Whose fault is it?
Interesting.
It's a female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept it. He ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about, and it's like
only
that's
talks
the
about that.
The regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the
okay.
show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular next right now.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man becomes
What?
a top G,
Men are held accountable all the time and they are getting slapped by reality all the time, okay? But the thing is that some man chooses to be a loser still after getting slapped by the reality. So I'm not complaining about men getting slapped by the reality, and yeah, I understand that they're being held accountable for certain things that they're doing on a regular basis. Like, what's
cheats
the
on a
problem?
woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and
Accountable
say,
for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
It depends.
How do you say? How do you
He's joking,
say
obviously.
that? Are you
You're okay
joking?
with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely.
But no, like he is trying to make a point over here is that Western world, like in the Western world, you have cheating, okay? Because you can get married to multiple women, but in the Middle Eastern countries, you can have multiple wives, which is why some people would agree to have a relationship with 4 wives instead of having a relationship where they can cheat. No, so that's the thing. Like
No, that's
No,
he's
you
trying to say.
Oh, it's around when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There's not been in the history of humanity, across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever. Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you could possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different, so buckle up. It's different. It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why. It is impossible for a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself, because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men, and all of them are either high-value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy, she's just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games, or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just
Yeah, that's a fact.
go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da, da, da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, answer 1 second. Sir, may I ask you a question? What would you
That's a nice point. I got a clap for him.
say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Haram.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So
Yeah.
let's say you have 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if?
No, I'm asking. Do
Okay,
you know?
I asked, what if they're different races? One
Answer
white,
the
one black.
question.
You don't know.
Answer the question.
You don't know. Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are. At least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just
It's
say?
disgusting.
Wait.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
Oh, that's.
Oh
Oh yeah, I saw
my
that.
God.
May I just say something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are.
Listen, if I get married, I'm gonna bring my parents to my house, obviously, and obviously, she'll be watched 24/7, basically. Okay, like if she's in her house, she'll be watched by her parents, and if she's in my house, she's gonna be watched my parents. I'm gonna bring my parents to my house because I think that's the best way to raise children. Like women are constantly like making decision based on their feelings, so sometimes their feelings will be hurt, so they will be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. At that time, parents are gonna help us to have a relationship which will be a long-lasting one. So yeah.
Then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's around, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You look at humans from a societal perspective, but society's changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago. If a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive.
That's haram because because from a religious point of view, but most people are not religious, so why you are bringing that kind of point in order to have a discussion about whether or not man's loyalty matters? Like, I don't understand why she's trying to bring some religious point over here.
If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job, she couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted, because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, Shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity, or at least a low body count, or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men saying, one of you has to take care of me, put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then,
And also, like, nowadays court doesn't accept your genetics, like DNA test. Like they will literally believe in the women instead of believing in the evidence. Like, what the fuck? And you will see a lot of the time that the guy was taking care of a child for 18 years and then he gets to know that the child doesn't even belong to him. Like DNA test, like they are somehow suppressing this kind of evidence on a regular basis. Like, I don't even understand why the court is doing this kind of bullshit all the time. Yes, there are some judges, there are some prosecutors, there are some people who are honest with this kind of stuff, but there are lots of people who are doing bunch of bullshit in the court, not taking evidence even though they're provided with like medically tested and stuff like that. No, they're not gonna take it. They're gonna like make you pay for the child. Like, what the hell? This is kind of a bullshit that I do not even accept. And also, I would happily take care of a child if she got pregnant and I was married to her, and yeah, like we had a good relationship, and she's not asking for like $100,000 a month, like a lot, like Kim Kardashian or something like that. Recently, someone like that who is asking like $100,000 a month for childcare, like child support. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, this is kind of some kind of gold diggers stuff, and I don't literally accept that. Like, this is bullshit. Like, why the hell are you just doing this kind of bullshit in a public spheres? Like, it clearly illustrates that how this Western society is fucked in the real time.
Survival women needed a man, otherwise when they were pregnant could...
Okay, so yeah, that's enough for today. I'm gonna stop reacting to this video. So yeah, I'll be working on some shorts today, hopefully. And thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, share this video with your someone who is your friend or maybe family member, I don't know. Just share it. Hopefully this helps you understand the modern relationship dynamic between man and women. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Once again, you guys can do super chats and super thanks to support this channel as usual. So yep, I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. Peace out.